Salut tout le monde et bienvenue sur ma chaîne YouTube. Je m'appelle Céline et aujourd'hui, je vais lire un petit peu de poésie qui vient du XXe siècle, qui s'appelle le poésie moderne en anglais. Tous les poèmes sont en anglais. Salut tout le monde. Hi everybody. I almost repeated myself in French. Welcome to my channel. My name is Celine. And today I'm going to be reading some modern poetry that comes from the 20th century. Let's get cracking to one of my favorite authors ever. This one is H.D. I think she may have been a woman. Chance meeting. Take from me something, be it all too fine, and untranslatable and worthless for your purpose. Take it, it's mine. No one can give as I give. No one can say, take bountifully and smile and go away, then hate forever. Do not stoop to send the little missive that might slay or end this pain forever. Your one word might stay the pain, but do not send it. Keep yourself out of it, intransient. Finish what you have begun. Write swiftly, with a stylus dipped in sun, and tears and blood, rain, hail, and snow. Dip stylus in the beauty of the translatable things you know. The things I have are nameless, old and true. They may not be named, few may live and know. Another one by H.D. It's called I Would Forgo. I would forgo my snowfields for your sun. I would surrender crocus and ice gelatin and all the lilies rising one by one after one, and then another one, like star that flames with fire to star as beacon. I would forget the holy magigram and the little speedwells and low thrift for just one grain of your enchantment. Lift the veil dividing me from me, and heal the scar my searing helmet made, and lure me forth radiant, unafraid as the immortals. We near heaven's hill with this, God's asphodels. Oh, stay close, bend down my dream, my Morpheus. Breathe my soul straight into you. I would relive the whole of Ilium, and in sacred trance show Helen who made Troy a barren town. I love that. Next, we are going to go with a Marianne Moore poem. This one is called Silence. I really love this one. My father used to say, superior people never make long visits, have to be shown Longfeld's grave or the glass flowers at Harvard, self-reliant like the cat that takes its prey to privacy, the mouse's limp tail hanging like a shoelace from its mouth. They sometimes enjoy solitude, and can be robbed of speech by speech which has delighted them. The deepest feeling always shows itself in silence, not in silence, but restraint. Nor was he sincere in saying, make my house your inn. Inns are not residences. We are now moving to some T.S. Eliot. This one's called The Hollow Men. And on top of it, it says a penny for the old guy. We are the hollow men, we are the stuffed men, leaning together, headpiece filled with straw, alas! Our dried voices, when we whisper together, are quiet and meaningless as wind in dry grass, or rat's feet over broken glass in our dry cellar. Shape without form, shade without color, paralyzed force gesture without motion. Those who have crossed with direct eyes to death's other kingdom, remember us, if at all, not as lost, violent souls, but only as the hollow men that stuffed men. It continues to part 2. Eyes I dare not meet in dreams, in death's dream kingdom, these do not appear. There The eyes are sunlight on a broken column. There is a tree swinging and the voices are in the wind singing, more distant and more solemn than a fading star. Let me be no nearer in death's dream kingdom. Let me also wear such deliberate disguises, rat's coat, crowskin, crossed staves in a field, behaving as the wind behaves, no nearer. Not that final meeting in the twilight kingdom. 3. This is the dead land. This is cactus land. Here the stone images are raised. Here they receive the supplication of a dead man's hand, under the twinkle of a fading star. It is like this in death's other kingdom, walking alone. At the hour when we are trembling with tenderness, lips that would kiss, form prayers to be stone. 4. The eyes are not here. There are no eyes here. In this valley of dying stars, in this hollow valley, this broken jaw of our lost kingdoms, in this last of meeting places, we grope together and avoid speech, gathering on this beach of the tumid river, sightless unless the eyes reappear as a perpetual star, multifolate rose of death's twilight kingdom, the only hope of empty men. And 5, which is my favorite part. Here we go round the prickly pear, prickly pear, prickly pear. Here we go round the prickly pear at 5 o'clock in the morning. Between the idea and the reality, between the motion and the act, falls the shadow, for thine is the kingdom. Between the conception and the creation, between the emotion and the response, falls the shadow. Life is very long. Between the desire and the spasm, between the potency and the existence, between the essence and the desert, falls the shadow. For thine is the kingdom. For thine is, life is, for thine is. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper. This one is again by T.S. Eliot. It is called The Soul of a Man Must Quicken. The soul of a man must quicken to creation, out of the formless stone, when the artist unites himself with stone. Spring always new forms of life from the soul of man that is joined to the soul of stone, out of the meaningless practical shapes of all that is living or lifeless. Joined with the artist's eye, new life, new form, new color, out of the sea of sound, of the life of music, out of the slimy mud of words, out of the sleet and hail of verbal imprecations, approximate thoughts and feelings, words that have taken the place of thoughts and feelings. There spring the perfect order of speech and the beauty of incantation. Okay. We are going to go to Futility, that is written by Wilfred Owen. Move him into the sun. Gently its touch awoke him once. At home whispering of fields unsown, always it woke him, even in France, until this morning in the snow. If anything might rouse him now, the kind old sun would know. Think how it wakes the seeds, woke once the clays of a cold star, our limbs so dear attached, our sides, full-nerved, still warm, too hard to stir? Was it for this the clay grew tall? Oh, what made the fascious sunbeams toil to break earth's sleep at all? we're going to go to Strange Meeting, also written by Wilfred Owen. It seemed that out of battle I escaped, down some profound dull tunnel, long sun scooped, through granites which titanic wars had groined, yet also there encumbered sleepers groaned, too fast in thought or death to be bestirred. Then, as I probed them, one sprang up and stared, with piteous recognition in fixed eyes, lifting distantly hands as if to be blessed. And by his smile I knew that sullen hall, by his dead smile I knew we stood in hell. With 1,000 pains that vision's face was gained, yet no blood reached there from the upper ground, and no guns thumped, or down the flues made moan. Strange fields, I said, here is no cause to mourn. None, said to the other, save the undone years, the hopelessness, whatever hope is yours, was my life also. I went hunting wild after the wildest beauty in the world, which lies not claim in eyes or braided hair, but mocks the steady running of the hour, and if it grieves, grieves richer than here. For by my glee might many men have laughed, and of my weeping something had been left, which must die now, I mean the truth untold. The pity of war distilled, now men will go content with what we spoiled, or discontent, bodily toil, and be spilled. They will be swift with swiftness of the tigress. None will break ranks through nations trek from progress. Courage was mine. I had mystery. Wisdom was mine, and I had mastery. To miss the march of this retreating world into vain citadels that are not walled, then when much blood had clogged their chariot wheels, I would go up and wash them from street wells, even with truths that lie too deep for taint. I would have poured my spirits without stint, but not through wounds, not on the cess of war. Foreheads of men have bled where no wounds were. I am the enemy you killed, my friend. I knew you in this dark, for you frowned yesterday, though me, as you jabbed and killed, I parried, but my hands were loath and cold. Let us sleep now. I love that. Now this one is called Mud by Richard Church. 20 years ago, my generation learned to be afraid of mud. We watched its vileness grow, deeper and deeper churned from earth, spirit, and blood. From earth sweet-smelling enough as moorland, field, and coast, firm beneath the corn, noble to the plow, purified by frost every winter morn. From blood, the invisible river, pulsing from the hearts of patient man and beast, the healer, then life-giver, the union of parts, the meaning of the feast. From spirit which is man in triumphant mood, conqueror of fears, alchemist of pain, changing bad to good, master of the spheres. Earth is the king of space, blood the king of time, spirit their lord and god, all tumbled from their place, all trodden into slime, all mingled into mud. Now we are going to go to a poem by Alan Porter, which is called The River. The gravel shone with streaks of gold under the golden light of day. The summer air no more than trembled, all in the minnows' ray away. To still the beating of their hearts, they gathered in a great platoon. What blew so thunderous, they said, is the last judgment here so soon? One took his courage in both hands and crept out on a bold campaign. The shadow of a starling fell, and how he bolted back again. And now we are going to go to some poems by Laura Riding. The first one is As Many Questions as Answers. What is to start? It is to have feet to start with. What is to end? It is to have nothing to start with again, and not to wish. What is to see? It is to know in part. What is to speak? It is to add part to part, and make a whole of much or little. What is to whisper? It is to make soft the greed of speaking faster than a substance for. What is to cry out? It is to make gigantic, where speaking cannot last long. What is to be? It is to bear a name. What is to die? It is to be name only. What is to be born? It is to choose the enemy self, to learn impossibility from. And what is to have hope? It is to choose a God weaker than self and pray for compliments. What is to ask? It is to find an answer. And what is to answer? It is to find a question. I love that. And here is Earth, which is one of my favorite poems by Laura Writing. Have no wide fears of earth. It is universal name is nowhere. If it is earth to you, that is your secret. The outer records leave off there, and you may write it as it seems, and as it seems, it is. A seemingless stillness amidst seeming speed. Heavens unseen or only seen, dark or bright space, unearthly space, it is a time before earth was, from which you inward move towards perfect now. Almost the place, it is not yet, potential here of everywhere, have no wide fears for it. Its destiny is simple, to be further what it will be. Earth is your heart, which has become your mind, but still beats ignorance of all it knows, as miles deny the compact present, whose self-mistrusting past they are, have no wide fears for earth. Destruction only on wide fears shall fall. Now this one is called Doom in Bloom, also by Laura Writing. Now flowers the oldest seeds, the secret of the root no more, keep jealous distant from the air, the dark intent so loathfully ascending, as last to resolution grows, the glance of long reluctancy shows. Weakly we write upon the closing surface of oblivion, our faith in earth is nether seamless, hurries to take the separate color, and learning on the faded air, we flaunt ourselves against despair. Gruesomely joined in hate of unlike efflorescence, we are a cruel, compacted silence, from which unlovable century sprang. But time has a knit so hard a crust that speak and differ now we must, or be in pride encased until the living way has ceased, and only death comes to occur through half of our zeal. But fair is, spells, but isn't earth's variety. Hope makes a stronger half to beauty. When from the deep bed torn of ultimate misgiving, and odspice of peril to bring, the loan of defiance blossoms failure, but risk of all by all beguiles fate's wreckage into similar smiles. We're going to switch now to Michael Roberts. The one that we're going to go with, though, is one called In Time of Peace. There is no quiet in this earth, in the green root of history, or the leaf bending towards the earth, in the brown eyes, the lake reflecting, circulus circus moving, or in the water sky reflecting channels in the ice pack, in boundless never-ending action, under and in and over. The sea reflecting, there is no peace. At Fleurier in the shadows of stone pine, at Langres in the vineyard, at Macugana, there is no peace. Bruno in the Camp de Floride burning, Jules remembering the orchard of the dead, Marcel rolling a cigarette at Guillaume, Scan the frontier ranges for desert and chamois. These, the building of a tower, the meteor falling, the shriek and shutting of brakes, the anguish at the windscreen and the growth, bursting a secret flower. The newsboy shouting, these are normal. There is no quiet in the turning sea. We're under burning stone and glacier ice, under the guns in the summer's corn of paramount, deeper than piercing, warm, or pindering drill. The blind earth coagulates, the lava moves. There is no peace, there is no certainty, there is no quiet, but the solid earth, the times, the stone fall and the clamoring and silence. The times are normal. Now, a lot of these poems were written in the 20th century, which means that they could have been before and after wars. In particular, a lot of these are war-based because after wars and during wars, people were hurt. And a really easy way to feel like more normal would be through expression of poetry and writing. As well, poetry was more ambiguous as war times and after war times happened because people's emotions were more ambiguous. I hope you enjoyed me reading these. I love poetry. I love modern poetry. I love poetry that has reflected on how people have been hurt and or have grown and learned based off of their experiences and the experiences of the earth. I hope you enjoyed this as well. I hope this relaxed you and or brought light to serious poetry that made a movement at least to a couple people on earth, because these pieces are wonderful. Thank you so much for listening. Merci pour avoir écouté, visionné cette vidéo. Je sais qu'il était totalement en anglais, mais c'était juste la poésie. Donc, si vous avez bien aimé cette vidéo, abonnez-vous sur ma chaîne et donnez-moi un thumbs up. De plus, si vous avez des commentaires, laissez vos commentaires dans les commentaires. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to support me, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. And until the next time, à la prochaine fois, à bientôt. Bye bye.